Welcome to the Ray Bros Nerd Show. I'm your host, Jonathan, with my brother, Zach.
What's up, guys?
This is episode 12.
12?
1, 2. So I guess we wanted to kind of start with what we left on last podcast was my overall Xbox One S, I guess, or Xbox One in general experience so far. Because for the holidays, Monica decided to get me one, which is cool. And I got to play a lot of it, probably at least, I guess, hours-wise, if you want to put it in that perspective, at least more than a day's worth total so far. So I'll do the cons first, and then I'll do the pros, because, like, I'm not really a fanboy of anything particular. I guess I lean more towards Sony than anything else, but there's nothing that, like, keeps me, like, I have to like this. You know what I mean?
And we've discussed why we go with Sony first when it comes to new consoles coming out.
Mm-hmm.
That was like our first or second episode we talked about.
Yeah. So, so I'm going to give the cons first and then the pros. And obviously, like, some of these are all just my opinion, so just take them as they are. My least favorite, my biggest con of it so far is it doesn't take my mic for USB to talk to it. Like, it'll pick it up like it is a mic, but I can't record on it. So when I record, like, on Twitch, which is another thing I don't like about it, which I'll explain in a second, I have to use my headphones, or I have to go through means of capturing it or whatever.
And then going back and recording audio on top of it.
Or paying, like, out of the wazoo for a better headset. My headset's not bad, but when I bought it, it was mainly just a meaning communication for gaming, like, online, like, in multiplayer. My second favorite thing, or least favorite thing, or my second con, is the share capabilities. Their share capabilities on PlayStation 4 is top notch.
A fucking button.
Yeah. Well, it's not only just the button, it's like, because you can technically just click a few buttons and get the Twitch and whatever, but it's like you have to post on Twitch and then it goes on YouTube. Like with the PS4, you can choose YouTube as your live stream, and then when you screen capture on the PlayStation, you hit it twice, takes a picture, and you move on. Like, and you don't have to go to a menu to do it. Yeah. With the Xbox One, I know this just seems so nitpicky, but it's huge this day and age. Especially because every time I hear people talk about the Xbox, they say how the multiplayer is better or the multiplayer environment is better, which I figure includes the social media aspects of it or getting people socially involved and stuff like that. So that's another con of it. And then my third con of it, and I guess this is just like another, just like my own perspective, is I don't know like how to explain this, but like when it still adds on to along the lines of the social media experience or the sharing, since they do force you to use Twitch or whatever, when it does go to YouTube, it scales it down when it comes to definition. Whoa. So when you're streaming on Twitch, it can be 1080 or maybe even 720. I don't know the highest that Twitch goes.
Yeah.
I didn't do enough, research on that. But then when you put it on YouTube, you can only go up to certain Ps because it's taking it from a different source. Oh, so like the sharing capabilities of that thing, like I don't think are very user friendly. You can't just hit a few buttons and do the same thing. But the other thing is, once you have the Twitch thing open, this is another nitpick of mine, con. You have to unpin it when you're done using it. So usually, if you're streaming on YouTube and you're done, you just close it out, you're done. That's it. Yeah. With this, you have to unpin it, then go back into the game and everything like that. And it's not as easy to close the game out like it is on PlayStation. Yeah. So like on PlayStation, to close the game out, you hit the PlayStation button, options closed, done. Yeah. With the Xbox, you have to do like this other way, and I'm sure I might be wrong, or I might not be holding down the right button, but it should be. What I'm saying is, it should be as easy as me clicking a button and then hitting exit like you would, or options and exit like you would on the PS4. You know what I mean? It should be as easy as that. So
you want to hear a sad part about that whole user interface thing?
Yeah.
So when I got my
and
Xbox,
it looks like Windows 10. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to say that.
When I got my Xbox One, it was like a week or 2 weeks before the big update to the UI came out.
Yeah.
this UI, which is a pain in the ass and like muddled,
Yeah.
is actually sadly 1,000 times better than it was. We'll say early 2016 and before.
Yeah.
You know, from when the system came out till like mid 2016, it was a nightmare when I first got it. Trying to find games, and then even now that it's updated and you can pin your games where you want them and stuff.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I don't know how much they've updated it, but even that, I'm just like, the cross media bar is just so good. It's like, here's your games, and now on PS4 you have folders. So
Yeah.
I have like mine in just full retail games and then like indie games. Those are my two folders. I know exactly what's in what, and it's quick and easy.
Yeah. All right, so some of the pros I have, once you do get everything running and stuff, some of the format I like. I like how you can use a picture in game as your background, even though it's cluttered. It's a possibility, and that's one thing I wish PlayStation 3 used to have it, and there was even a roundabout way. Sorry, Sony, where you can find free ones. Sorry, Sony, on the PS3,
themes,
but on the PS4. As far as I know, you can't do it. Like, you can't get free themes.
Well,
or backgrounds. Like, you know how you used to, like, be able to find pictures online and do that?
You could literally do it on the system. Search, like, the way I had my PS3 rigged up is I had installed a program on there that, like...
Sorry, Sony.
No, Sony...
They were probably self-aware, that's why they took it away.
Well, and that was the thing. Sony, when they launched PS3, it had Linux capabilities. You could turn your PS3 into a computer.
Yeah.
Like, it's the only system that had printer like options.
Yeah. So another pro of mine is every game I've had has run real smooth. I had the 4K capability, but I don't have a 4K TV. Right now, it's still a new system. It runs quieter than my PS4, but I think my PS4 is on its latter legs because I use it quite a bit. But I like how compact everything is. I know that sounds dumb, but I have it where I have my Xbox One on the right-hand side of the shelf, my Wii U, and my PS4 can all fit in one area instead of multiple different areas or whatever like that.
Is the power brick finally inside the
console?
they
put it internally, so the cable is just like a straight cable.
Good.
So that's nice. Yeah, because the Wii U's, I think, is the only one that has a stupid brick now, or whatever. Another thing is the games that are on it. I like that I can search for the old Sega games. That's a huge plus for me. I got Streets of Rage 2 for now, and I found out I could find Golden Axe and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So we're trying to save up money, but I'm like, oh my god, I want Sonic now, and I want Golden Axe, and just dumping more money onto Sega that I don't need to.
You should see if that Sonic's Ultimate Collection.
It is for the PS3, but that means I would have to.
No, it's on. It was on 360 as well, I thought.
Was it? I don't think so.
I don't know.
We'd have to look it up, but there is a Sonic game that was released for PS3 that had all the old games.
Yeah.
But if that's possible, then I'll just get that. Oh, and that's the other pro of mine. It's a very, this is my list. People don't get mad. Throw bananas or whatever. The backwards capability. Because one of the first games I got, and I forgot to tell you about this, is I got Left 4 Dead again to play on the Xbox One. I'm sorry, I still think they do have it technically where you have to download it on the PlayStation Now, or there are certain games they release that are backwards compatible, but it's like...
But I just... My whole thing, because you're actually on the right... Like, the internet agrees with you. The amount of people who are using backwards compatibility is massive. The amount of games Microsoft is selling with that, amount of people who are using it. To me, it's almost a sign of, lack of interest on what's actually on the platform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which makes sense, yeah. But I still have new games. I'm just saying that's, a pro of mine that it does have.
Well, and most people agree with you. I'm just like, well... you can get an Xbox 360 or a PS3 for $100, less than, instead of buying a whole console. I know that's not why you bought the console. A lot of people, it's just a bonus add-on. But for me, it perplexes me. What I had, the Vita TV, for me, that thing's perfect because it plays PS1 games. Now,
Yeah.
granted, I'm sure. Well, no, because they're working on original Xbox. They're trying to get to where you can also have backwards compatible original Xbox games.
Which I won't find interest in that because it's like those. I will be so aware that those games will be horrible. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
I think the only game that I would like that was on there is like Hunter the Reckoning.
And I will say one thing real quick. One thing I wish that Xbox One would benefit from is probably folders like the PS4, because like I have games now that I have are more digital on the Xbox One, and then ones that require the disc. But on the file of games, it all puts it on like one bundle, which is fine because then I can scroll through the library. But and I know internally like which games go to what.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice if I could just put like in a folder disc-based file, like disc-based file, but like where you have to have the disc, and then ones that are more digital.
Which is exactly what, I don't know if you remember, but when I had Final Fantasy 15, Dishonored 2 on disc, Batman Arkham, The Return to Arkham, when I had those 3 games on the PS4 on disc, because I got good Black Friday sales,
Yeah.
I made a folder that was literally physical.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
I still had my other ones that said, retail or whatever, and then indie games.
Yeah.
So whenever I was like, all right, I want to play this. Oh, yeah, I need the disc.
Yeah. So, but overall experience, I've had a lot of fun with it. I still bounce back to my PS4 because the interface is a little bit easier for me to understand, and that could be that I've used it more, but I really think it is just easier.
It is.
I mean,
It's
nothing against Xbox One, well, a little bit, I guess, because that's kind of a feature, is when I go to my PlayStation, everything's laid out for me, like on this simple line, and then now with the folders, I can go bam, 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 I can go exactly where I need to be. With the Xbox One S and everything, it's like everything's in a clutter, and even though sometimes I can live a cluttery life, I don't like that for my systems.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, even at work, when I have folders for specific things, I put it in a nice little folder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially as a system that's supposed to be, like, marquee with Microsoft or whatever. Like, Microsoft, which is the computer people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For most part. Pretty much every PC you get, you have some sort of something.
You either have a Mac or you have a PC.
Which includes Microsoft something.
Windows.
Yeah, Windows something. So, all right. So, we can move on from that. So,
Well, I mean, this, I guess I should have asked this beforehand, because obviously most of any exclusives we talked about recently were PlayStation. Outside of, I guess you've talked about the 2 big ones that you have. I don't know if there's any other exclusives you have besides Dead Rising and Forza.
well, in the Halo games and the Gears of War games or whatever.
Did you get 4 or did you get the backwards compat ones?
I got the Halo Master Chief Collection, which I think goes up to 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that goes all the way up to 4.
And then the Gears of War, I got Gears of War 4, and inside Gears of War 4, I had downloads for all the original Gears. Not the remastered versions, I don't think.
Only the first one. Well, no, you wouldn't even have gotten the remastered version.
Which I did with my Rare Replay. Okay, so my Rare Replay disc I got used. It was only like $8 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it came with Gears of War, I think it's called Unlimited Edition or something remastered or something dumb.
Yeah.
But when it comes to exclusives, like so far with the ones I played, I've had fun with.
Have you played Gears yet? Or have you not really dabbled in that one?
I haven't dabbled in that one yet because we'll get to it because I've been playing Dead Rising 2 like retarded amount. Oh,
Yeah.
no, excuse my language, but ridiculous amount.
Jingle keys.
Jingle keys.
Yeah, okay. Well, we can move on. I was just curious because obviously those.
But
are
I have
games
heard they
that
dropped the ball most recently with a game that was supposed to be exclusive to Xbox One. And
that
I can't remember what the game was called now.
That game was the reason I had bought that Xbox One that I bought in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
That game, wanting to play Rise of the Tomb Raider and looking forward to Gears 4.
What was that game called?
Scalebound.
Oh yeah, Scalebound.
Like Platinum Games, when they have their A team on a game, it's awesome. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Transformers, like the TV show, the movies, or the comic books. But for some reason, I love like Transformers works perfectly for games.
Not all of them did, but yeah, some.
No,
of them.
but
Yeah.
the two that came out last gen that I really liked were War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron.
Mm-hmm.
Which Fall of Cybertron actually just got an HD remake thing on PS4, and I've been staring at it like I could play that game again. But
see, that's another thing too. Is like there's so many. Do you feel like there's? I know we didn't add this as a topic per se, but like, do you feel like there's too many HD remasters now? Like
that's part of the
reason. At what point do they jump the shark?
Well, that's part of the reason why I don't see the benefit of backwards compatibility.
Because there's no HD to it?
Well, no, those games are in HD.
Yeah.
360 and PS3
guess,
were HD.
Yeah.
It's not so much that, it's the fact that
remasters,
the games that like are worth playing through again
yeah,
are gonna get an HD remake, so
fear. Do it now.
You have people like playing like the 360 version on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
And then they had just beaten it, and then it's like, oh, they're remastering it for the PS4, and it's only gonna be $30, and you get all the content that came with the game and this and that, and I'm like, well, if you would have waited, you would have had it running at 60 frames per second and all the content, but instead you played it on backwards compat, and Microsoft sold you on a crappy version of the game, and it's like,
unless you already had the game.
Yeah, but if you don't have your system, why would you have the game?
I have a lot of systems like that.
Besides I guess like if you have it digitally, like sure, but I don't know.
Anyways,
but yeah, Scalebound, like that was one of the reasons I bought that Xbox One, because you're fighting dragons, and it was going to be a big co-op game. And Platinum, they made this awesome Transformers game the year before last, I believe. I don't think it came out last year, called Transformers Devastation. And it was done in the art style of the cartoon. It was a Gen 1 Transformers video game.
Yeah.
And it was like fast paced, and like you could turn into the vehicle whenever you want, whatever character you were playing as, and it was like...
And it was like one button transformation. It was like,
yeah, and then like you could like transform in the middle of a combo and like ram your car into them and stuff, and then it had loot, so you were like getting better weapons, better guns and stuff. It's an awesome game. It was free for PlayStation Plus like either last month or the month before, so yeah. I have it on my system. I gotta play it again because it's a pretty short game, but it's super fun.
Okay.
But that's a Platinum Games. Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2, those are Platinum Games. Like, the studio, when they're on their, like, A game, they make great games. When they're not, they make garbage like Legend of Korra and Ninja Turtles and shit. So, this game could have been...
the Manhattan one? I didn't know it wasn't a 4-player co-op.
It is, but only online.
That's such a fuck up. You know? I feel like sometimes I'm like such a dinosaur sometimes that I still prefer games that have local co-op attached to it.
Yeah, believe me, after our discussions about Forza, I was pissed off that I couldn't find a racing game that wasn't online only.
Yeah.
The Need for Speed games are online only.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that even if you're offline, like with the crew, you can't play it if you're offline. Like if you turn off the network connection, you can't play at all. That one I can more so understand because that's a massive like racing area.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you a lot of stuff is getting streamed in through like cloud computing and stuff. And then also it's a huge amount of cars that can be in there at once. Need for Speed literally looks like one of the old school Need for Speed games, but if you're not connected to the internet, you can still play. But guess what? You can't pause at all. So I couldn't. That's why I gave it to you, because I can't play a game where I can't pause unless it's like Dark Souls. I will go out of my way to like play Dark Souls or Bloodborne in the interim between like when I can have Emily watch Grayson, or my little 30 minutes I get after my chores when I get off work. Like I get 30 minutes before they come home. That's where I game, and I can get a good amount of progress in that time in Dark Souls, or none. But in a racing game, it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
I don't know. I know, like, a lot more people are moving towards just online. But I like being able to, like, especially, you know, if you have a significant other, or if you have some friends over or whatever, just having the ability to be like, here's a controller, you know what I mean? And I don't understand why they won't do it, because it's a money-making machine. You know, if the person doesn't have a controller, they usually buy a second one there, so that's $60 a pop right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, so that's a whole different conversation, I think.
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about, like, I was going to talk about the PS4 Pro, but I mean, there's plenty of info out there already.
Yeah.
Like, it's not so much a new experience outside of some of the games I play. It's not every game. Some of them look better and run better on the PS4 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's awesome. Like, there's certain games where, like Final Fantasy, they released, like, they didn't bump it up to 60 frames per second, but the 4K like rendering they did, like, you could instantly see night and day. Because I had played like the first half of the game in the normal PS4, and then the second half with, like, it turned into the 4K like upscaling or whatever, and it was nuts.
Yeah.
So there's really not too much for me to say about the PS4 Pro. Like, it's, you know, it's just, it has 4K capabilities. Like, Uncharted 4, which was already the best looking game I've ever seen, it's disgusting how beautiful it is.
You're almost like, you can't look at it because your eyes hurt.
Yeah, that and like Ratchet and Clank, that game already, like, looked gorgeous.
Yeah.
Now, like, the colors are so deep and everything, it's just perfect. So that's all I gotta say about that.
I thought your kid just broke into the room.
So did I. I was like staring at the door.
When we run our podcast, it's like inside a room with the door closed, obviously for like noise constriction reasons. And his like kid was at the door, and all of a sudden the door opened. I was like, his kid just opened the door.
Oh, he'll stand up and he'll like try to turn doorknobs.
He's like a raptor. He's like, I will learn how to do this.
He is like, I'll be sitting on the couch and I'll look over and he's standing up at our front door trying to turn the knob. He obviously can't turn it all the way because he's short and he's got these little arms, but he knows what he's doing. And I'm like, oh man, this kid is going to be a handful.
A wreck, yeah.
He's way too smart for his own good.
Yeah.
But the other topic that I was wanting to talk about, since we're in a new year, it's 2017. I think right now, you know, we're both kind of bouncing between different games. Like, I've been playing Hyper Light Drifter, which now I'm in like a hard as balls part of that game. So I've been bouncing back and forth between that and Dishonored 2. So, you know, we're playing some games from last year and stuff. But I wanted to talk about games that are coming out. At least right now, they're claiming are coming out. Some of these could drop off. And
yeah, because that's kind of like what I...
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were first talking about it, he's like, I'm going to make a top 10 list of games that are anticipated for 2017 that he's like anticipating to play and stuff. And I was kind of like snarky in a way, but I didn't mean it like to be an asshole. But I'm like, I would say that, but then with so many delays and shit, or, you know, cancellations, I hate to be like, oh, looking forward to Dead Rising 10, and then Dead Rising 10 just never exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just an example or whatever. So, yeah.
Like, a lot of these, though, I know are confirmed. A lot of them are actually ones that will be coming out soon.
Yeah.
There's a few that don't have concrete dates and stuff. But with even just this 10 games here, like, even if no other games came out and only these ones came out, to me, this would be a fucking awesome year in video games.
2017, yeah.
And there's more, like, some of which that are coming out this month that I already know are done.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to put on here because, I don't know, like...
I'll probably throw some out because I didn't take time to think of 10. I thought of like 3, and some of them might match yours, but...
Well, yeah, mine was like, I went on to the GameStop's upcoming, and if you set it to where you go by release date, if you go way down towards like the ones that are super, like, coming out real close, you can get a better idea of like ones that are, you know, for sure coming out, ones that have dates. Sure, they can get delayed, but if a game gets delayed from March till January of next year, then I can't really say that at that point I'm really anticipating it anymore because that means something systemically is wrong.
And I have a number 1, and it's going to be a little bit of a rant because I don't even know if it's still... We'll talk about it. So you can go first with some of yours.
Did it get delayed again? No.
let's
In honor of the day tomorrow, because I already know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is Friday the 13th.
Which we have been promised springtime, that Friday the 13th, the Kickstarter game, or now it's just a regular game now. It was on Kickstarter. It's supposed to come out, but the other thing too is they're only releasing now the multiplayer, and then further down the line, quote in quotes, they're
releasing the game got delayed. The fucking single player.
The single player, yeah. So what?
You didn't tell me this.
Yeah.
That's
So
even worse.
here's the thing. I'm actually mad about it. I was defending it for a while, but now I'm pissed because it's like I invested like $75 on it. I think that was.
Fuck, that's more than a game cost.
That's more than the game cost.
Oh.
And when I get the game, I'm not even going to have the full damn thing right off the bat when they delayed it so I can have the full damn thing right off the bat. So here's my issues with it. One, I paid an outrageous amount of money to get it kickstarted, but I was on the understanding, and I was already comfortable with having the game just multiplayer for now. Just so I can play the Jason, support something, because... Yeah. At the end of the day, you're supporting something that I believe in, which is Friday the 13th. I love horror movies. I love Friday the 13th. Blah 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 blah.
I can
and then
make
they're like,
this worse for
hold
you.
on. Let me finish my train of thought, and then I'll let you enjoy
I'm a
some.
poo all over you.
I already have poo myself, and Zach's got weird. Okay, so the second thing, you almost made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry.
The second thing, so it was supposed to come out of fall last year. So I was like, okay, that's perfect timing. October. I'll get to play multiplayer, maybe bring my brother over, he can play a little bit or whatever. And they're like, alright, well, we got single player, so we have to delay it. And I was like, you know what? I'll take the delay if you add the single player. I kind of wonder where you get the fucking funding from because it wasn't funded enough, but that's a different conversation. But I was like, you know what? I'm comfortable with the delay. I'm like, I get single player and multiplayer with probably a bot story or something thrown in there. That's perfect. And then they say, they have the nerve to say, oh, we'll release it in spring, which I was like, okay, that's the delay time. That makes sense to add a single player. But when we release it, first it's going to be multiplayer. And then down the line, through updates, and we all know how fucking updates are nowadays, 80 gigs of fucking data, we'll release the add-on, the single player campaign. And I'm just like... Oh. I'm like, I love Friday the 13th, and I love like donating. Like I donate to like real world issues, throughout the year. I even keep track of it, and I don't even file taxes on it sometimes because it's like for veterans. I support Wounded Warrior Project.
This wasn't donating though.
No,
Kickstarters are gambling.
Yeah,
it's literally gambling. You're putting a quarter into a slot
and just hoping it runs 3 cherries. But this was it. Well, you can even consider it an investment because you're investing into a product in a way.
But if you're investing, you're at least guaranteeing a result.
Yeah.
Your result could
My
be...
result is this gaming company just doing whatever the fuck it wants.
Your result could be Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, the beta wasn't horrible. It's a beta, so that's like a give or take. You know what I mean?
Personal... yeah, no, I have to go in on this game.
It's what I'm
because
saying.
of the way they're treating the people who funded this game and the game they're releasing makes me sick.
I feel like the Kickstarters are becoming a forgotten part of the project. Yeah. Which sounds weird to say, but it's like now they're kind of selling it more towards everyone.
Because a movie's coming out.
It's going to be bad.
But
that's my most anticipated game of 2017.
And you backed it, and I imagine when you backed it, you were asking for a PS4 copy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the reality of the thing. Notice the beta was only on PC.
Yeah.
Notice the fact that they didn't say anything about PS4 or Xbox One.
Betas at all, yeah.
So you could be facing, we're going to release the game first, just multiplayer, and then we're going to add the single player. The PS4 and Xbox One versions won't be ready until the single player's done.
Oh. I just got this chair, $30 online. I'm about to toss it.
Because if they're working on all 3 at the same time, why isn't there a universal beta? Why isn't it,
point.
even if it
That's a good
was,
point.
even
I
if it
didn't
was
think about
only
that.
PC and Xbox One or PC and PS4, why is it only PC? And I understand that's probably the primary platform they're working on,
Yeah.
but you have backers asking for multiple different versions.
Specifically, because
Yeah.
they ask you specifically, even at the beginning, of what I wanted it on.
Yeah.
And I was like, PS4, of course, you know.
And then it could turn out that they cancel that version. Because guess what? Mighty Number 9, when that Kickstarter launched, it was for... I don't know if
Wasn't
it was
it for
for
the Wii
PC.
U?
It was for the Wii U, Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One. I'm pretty sure PC as well. I don't see why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that just seems like an odd thing to leave out, yeah.
Well, they canceled the PS3 and PS3 and Xbox 360. So people who may not have updated their console yet, maybe don't have all the money in the world, maybe are just fans of old school gaming and I want to support
Mighty Number 9, yeah.
you know, this remake, this not even remake, it's a reimagining of Mega Man from the original creator. Well, if you want to play this game, guess what? You better upgrade your console because we're going to give you the matching code to the different system. So those people, just like I'm warning you about, may not, like, they could be like, unfortunately, we can't fulfill making the PS4 and Xbox One copies.
That would be, I
So
feel like that
here's
would be
a
a
PC
disaster
copy.
for them. That would be a disaster for them. Almost like a Mighty Number 9 disaster. Probably not at that level.
Most Kickstarters are disasters. That's why, like...
Don't you put this evil on me, damn it.
Also, I'm going to make it even worse on you. This is the little detail I'm going to make worse on you. There's a game just like Friday the 13th that's already out. It's been out. And Jason Voorhees was in the game.
What game is that? Sorry, I was drinking water.
I'd have to look up. I can't remember what the game is. But it's literally the same concept. Because these games, these asymmetric multiplayer, are a dime a dozen now. I mean, you have like Evolve and stuff like that. Like Left 4 Dead is one of the first ones that kind of came along where you're not, you know, it's not gun versus gun. It's one of the very first ones was the Splinter Cell game. Where some people played as the Mercenaries, which was a first-person shooter. Other people played as, you know, the Splinter Cell.
Yeah, you could be a good guy or a bad guy in the retrospect of things.
So he was already in it, and it was like a guest spot. Like, it was just temporary. So they didn't purchase outright the rights, and the people who were making this Kickstarter were like, well, hey, that was really cool. Why don't we see if we could obtain the rights and make a game that's nearly identical, just only with him, not other slashers and different types of enemies.
Yeah.
So the game you're getting is actually a lesser version of a game that already exists, that already had him in it, but because these guys came along and took your money and got the rights, you can't enjoy the full version of that game. Like, that game, if it would have been more supported, maybe they could have done a Kickstarter where we're like, we're going to get his rights and we're going to, you know, seal the deal, get some more movie, you know,
Monsters
rights.
or whatever, yeah.
And then, like, if we raise enough money on the Kickstarter, port it to PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Also, Jason,
Move on.
also, he teleports.
Well, I understand that
No,
part.
I don't. That is so...
Because in the movies, technically, it makes you feel that way, but there should be a
he's
cooldown.
literally a magician.
There should be a cooldown where you can like appear like once behind somebody, because like in the movies, it makes it feel like that.
I don't think like.
But there should be like a cooldown for it where you can't just do it infinitely.
Like, is there ever a time in the movies where like somebody's being chased?
Yeah,
and
all the
they
time.
look back and he's gone, and then he's in front of them.
A couple
guy
times where they would like run up and hide by the tree or something.
A guy who never runs. He only walks, and that's
only
why
walks.
he's so terrifying. There's a run mode for one of the characters.
Yeah, I kind of wonder like that's what.
Oh, this game, like
That's why I'm nervous about the other game I'm anticipated for. Can I just cover?
Let's go into yours.
Let's just do mine.
It's a smaller list. I want to.
Yeah, I only have like 3, and that was one. The middle finger one. The other game I'm anticipating, I kind of posted on our social media page, is the new Resident Evil 7. The reason why I'm nervous about it now more than ever is because I've been watching more like of the gameplay footage, and I know like the gameplay footage that Capcom has given people Like, I know it's a limited basis, and they told him, they're like, you're probably 30 minutes into the game instead of, like, starting them from A to B. But there's this video of the guy, oh my god, where he, like, busts through the wall or whatever. Like, he has the ability to bust through the wall, and, like, he whacks you a couple times or whatever. It's like, when the guy was running down the hallway, there's, like, these windows, and some of the windows weren't boarded up, or they look like where your guy... It's first person, so you can't tell how big he is or whatever. But it looks like something where the guy could easily, like, just, you know, get out.
Oh, yeah.
You know
climb
what I
out
mean?
the window?
Yeah. And, like, that's, like, my biggest fear about this game is I feel like it has a premise of being creepy. Like, there's this demented family. They're chasing you around. They can kill you, blah, blah, blah.
Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But then at the same time, like, you have to solve puzzles. And it's like, if I see a door, you know, and this could be me talking military, I just feel like it's like a general thing.
Yeah.
But like, even in this room, there's 2 windows. Like, I'm going to try to figure out how to get out of here by busting the window if I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even if you're on the fucking 3rd story.
Yeah.
You're going to try to bust out a window, see if there's a safe place to jump out, safe place to climb
something,
down.
Yeah. Something, yeah. Or like, you take a ladder and just like walk it with you or something or whatever. And, you know, so it just, there's a part where they had to use a gun and stuff, which I'm comfortable with, but they shot the guy in the head, and he kept coming, and I'm really I'm like nervous, excited for it. You know what I mean?
I want this game to be good.
So do I, like, so
not
bad.
Not for me, because I'm never going to play it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like horror games.
Yeah.
There's a lot, exactly what you were talking about, there's a lot of, like, suspension of, you know, disbelief. Like, you have to, most games, they build to make you invested. The Last of Us, that opening scene where you're playing as the daughter gets killed.
Spoiler!
That game is old and it's a masterpiece.
Spoiler! Sorry.
That game, what it does is it puts forth the effort to make you invested.
That's like Fear. Is that Fear's scary because you know Alma can't get killed, but every time she showed up, not to cut off your idea, every time she showed up, I emptied clips to her. You know what I mean? Like, die, bitch.
Yeah, but I feel like Fear did it right because, and that's kind of what I was leading into. So The Last of Us, it puts in the work to get you invested.
Yeah.
Games like Outlast and PT and stuff like that, the game needs you to be invested before you even press start.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then again, PT, the thing about PT was, remember how you're like, well, I would just climb out a window or whatever. The thing about PT is you kept going in circles.
It looped. So like it was like you're trapped in a dimension or something.
Yeah. So that had a built-in conceit. That's why that game needed to come out. Like, I want this game to be good for you, but PT had the potential to be the first horror game that I really dove deep in.
Yeah. Because
it had enough of, like, story conceits to make you feel invested. Even the Silent Hill games themselves have that. Like, you know this town, like, if you played any of them, that you're just cut off.
Yeah.
Like, if you go back to where you
That's
came
what I'm
into
hoping
town,
they do with this, where it's like, ultimately, like, you can't escape unless or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But there's parts where you're outside in Resident Evil 7. They've shown parts where you go outside.
Well, I've seen them where they're in the garage or something. I haven't seen the outside parts. I might have missed that.
Yeah, there's like a part where you're going to like a barn or something.
Usually I'm doing this like while I'm doing paperwork, like at the very end of my day. I'm just like, okay, I almost done. You know?
So that's my problem with horror games is they require you to be invested before you press start.
Yeah.
A lot of other games, even a Naughty Dog game, like you have to get invested, and that game has horror aspects to it. But the thing with like Resident Evil, a lot of people didn't like that it went more action. Like, I actually genuinely really enjoyed Resident Evil 5. Not 6. Like, that was just a mess. That was another game you can't pause for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, but Resident Evil 5 was in the day, and people were like, how is it supposed to be scary if it's in the daytime? And I'm like, because that's not what they're going for anyways. You're going out there, you're killing zombies. It's a crazy Metal Gear type fucking story.
Yeah.
So, I like that they went more of an action direction. Now they're going back into, and a lot of people are saying, well, I'm sure this was in development at the same time PT was in development and all that. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure that this demo for PT that came out years ago,
just so it happened correlated.
Resident Evil, which doesn't look like it's the highest in technology, doesn't look like, you know, they haven't showed much of the final game. It's coming out soon, but like I feel like, I don't know, they're literally, anybody who thinks that like they're not trying to get a little bit of that PT money,
yeah,
is fucking full of shit.
Full of themselves.
Because a Kickstarter had already came out, like a game that got kickstarted, went through the development, came back asking for more money, got the more money, and then got canceled in the time between PT coming out, like the demo coming out, and Resident Evil 7 being announced.
Yeah.
So fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, no, they are straight up trying to, but I want this game to be good, not for me, but for you. Mostly because I want to watch you play it. Like, I almost wish that's one of those games where I could convince you the entire time you play it to record it. And I wish we could get a camera set up to, like, record your reaction. Or even if you sat with you and Monica for, like, parts of it. Or I sat in with you for some of it. Like, I would love to do that.
Yeah, because I'm a jump scare guy. It's weird because I was, even in the military, like, I just, But, alright, my last two, I'll make quicker comments about this because your list is better than mine. Horizon Zero Dawn, mainly because like I think that game is going to be pretty awesome. Has a female protagonist.
Yes.
Protagonist, yeah,
yes.
Female protagonist, and it looks like it's like Jurassic Park with robot type mixed in type thing.
It's Robo Dinosaurs. And
Robo Dinosaurs.
They have one of the coolest like.
I just hope it's
setting,
not Turok.
The setting. Did you hear what they calling like the setting, like the time frame? They called it post-apocalypse.
Nice. So
which is awesome. So the apocalypse has come, okay.
And then another one came.
well, what happens is the apocalypse came, people tried to survive. Now we're surviving and rebuilding. So that's the post-apocalypse. That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. The only thing that I'm a little nervous about is how she has that bow and arrow thing.
I love it.
But I'm just nervous about it, like, aspect-wise, like how the aiming is going to go and everything, and how, like, do you have to have certain arrows to kill certain things or take down certain things? Okay.
You should check out like gameplay videos because it looks.
I've been trying to like shade it on it because like I kind of want it to just surprise me.
Then do that because
like real quick, because with Resident Evil, I feel like I need, like you said, I need more information so I know when I play it, I'm like, all right, I'm already in this mindset. But with this one, I know I don't feel like I'll have to have that much information, you know?
You're coming into it already anticipating it. You want to come into it fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I watched the first trailer. Like, they released a story trailer recently.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch that because I know I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm getting it. I know I'm going to, get into it. But yeah, like, it's a lot like it's, to me, a lot of it looks like a Far Cry, but in third person kind of, where... Yeah, you have different arrows.
Which that means I'm gonna love it.
You have different tools for different enemies and stuff.
Yeah.
To make things easier because
okay.
that was one of the ones on my list and yeah.
And then my last one. This one kind of seems more silly, but South Park's Fractured Butthole. I want to play it. I just want to play it.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think I'm gonna like. I don't know all the characters. I don't watch that show that much, which could be a negative thing. But I know all the characters that are in that game.
Yeah.
And the coolest thing I think they're doing with this is they're releasing the other one, Stick of Truth, without charging you anything extra.
If you pre-order.
Yeah, if you do the pre-order, which is fine. It's better than Capcom's. You get Resident Evil Retaliation or Retribution, excuse me.
And then also they're also doing something.
You made me defend you, and now you give away a fucking Resident Evil movie.
And also
Assholes.
something you bitched about because you said you hate when games have consumables as pre-order bonuses. You want it to be permanent.
Yeah.
You get a movie and you get
Some health
consumables.
packs. I think was it a health pack?
Yeah, a strong health pack and a weaker health
Oh,
pack.
and the other thing, you can unlock crazy mode early. Capcom, why? Like literally 2 months ago, not even a month ago, my brother's like, Capcom's worse than EA, blah 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 blah. I didn't know you didn't say that, but I was saying like Capcom's on the same line as EA, and I was a nice little troop for you. And I was like, no, it's not because of blah, 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 blah. And then you're going to why am I back on the Resident Evil 7? Ah! Then your pre-order bonus, it's not even a fucking it's a punishment, if we're being fair.
Yep.
It's Resident Evil Retribution digital version.
It's not even
it's
Blu-ray
not even a
copy.
disc that you could just shatter into your dreams of oblivion if you wanted to. And then you get health packs, a shotgun. I can't remember. I should look it up real quick.
Oh, it wasn't a shotgun.
It wasn't a shot. It was like something.
It was 2 different health packs.
Yeah.
And then I think it's like a thing that like heals like.
Anyways, and then the last thing was unlock crazy mode early. It's like, okay, sorry.
I hope it's good for you.
Yeah, I hope so. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I almost don't want to pre-order on the basis I don't want Resident Evil, the movie Retribution. I just don't want it.
Let's get back to South Park because fuck, we'll see how Resident Evil plays
South
out.
Park Fracture Butthole I think is going to be fun.
Well, the thing is, did you play the first one?
No, but I always wanted to. I just never.
You're probably going to want to because it's set literally
before, like right after.
Like, yeah, immediately.
Yeah, so
like,
I'm going to have to, if I want that whole experience, I'm going to have to pre-order that one.
Because they go from, like, Dungeons and Dragons, like, fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
And then immediately, like, the taste in the kids' like minds changes, and then that's when they do superheroes.
Yeah.
There's stuff in there that, like, man, but I can't stand, like, the characters in South Park, but, like, Matt Parker and Trey Stone are hilarious.
Yeah.
But I can't stand South Park.
And totally straight.
So silly. And it's all because they wore dresses to awards and kissed each other in basketball. And John's like, they've got to be gay.
Totally.
That's the only, like, I wouldn't kiss a boy.
I wish there was like a, anyways, continue. I watched this YouTube video on how to make your podcast more formulated. And it was like, keep to your structure. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, we just can't. I'm like, maybe that'll be our forte. We just can't keep to a structure.
Fuck a structure. Like, the most important thing, Kevin Smith said the most important thing for a podcast is that you just go for it, and 2, that you're consistent.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because a lot of Kevin Smith's podcasts aren't consistent. One of his podcasts went away for like 8 months.
And then it came back.
And then it came back, and it's like one of my
maybe
favorite
it's
ones.
called Shadow. And it was like, fuck this.
Yeah, it's like, oh, whatever.
Anyways, move on to your list.
Okay, so I'm going to actually run through mine pretty quick. So the first 2 ones are actually kind of funny because, like, you'll see a pattern here, especially if you realize, like, games I talked about for Game of the Year, like Hyper Light Drifter.
Yeah.
The first game is The Surge. Now, what The Surge is basically a sci-fi Dark Souls, which to me makes me cream in my pants.
Oh, God. Scars.
Yeah, like...
What kind of sci-fi? Is like aliens type, or is it like spaceship?
I believe it's aliens. Like, it's one of those ones where it's kind of like Bloodborne, where I didn't want to get too in depth, like looking into it before it came out.
Oh, okay.
So like, I'm surprised by the like enemies you'll face and stuff, but I think it's aliens and probably some robots. But it's different from Dark Souls. Like, I'm gonna read into this one more because I realized that like, the developer of this one is. They made a game called Lords of the Fallen. And I think I told you about it because it's like an easier Dark Souls.
Yeah.
It's different from Bloodborne. Like, to some people, Bloodborne is harder than Dark Souls. Other people, it's easier than Dark Souls.
If that's true.
Me...
I'm a fucking beast.
Me, Bloodborne is easier than Dark Souls.
Oh.
Mostly because, like, Dark Souls, like... When you're first starting out, you're really going to want a shield because you can't get your health back after hitting things. You have to use your Estus Flask. And you also don't find them in the environment. You get a set amount, and you, whenever you stay at a bonfire, it refills. And so when you do that, just like in Bloodborne, then all the enemies repopulate. But Dark Souls is so good. So you'll notice a pattern here. So the Surge is from developers Lords of the Fallen, as I talked about. Now they're like, well, a lot of people were upset we kind of just copied Dark Souls, but we wanted to give more options out there for people. And they did some different things. It had much more of a story, a straightforward story to it, which I appreciated. You couldn't customize your character in terms of their looks, which was annoying. But
yeah.
So that one I'm super looking forward to. The next one on my list is Neo. which is Samurai Dark Souls.
It's like, how much Dark Soul do you need? Is that the demo you had me play?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one wasn't
That's
too
coming
bad.
out next month.
This was quite frustrating, but that one wasn't too bad.
Like, January, I don't think I'm really going to be getting anything. I thought about getting Tales of Berseria, because I like me a good old JRPG, but that's not an old school JRPG. It's a lot more action. But
Oriented,
but Neo, it's been in development for a long time. Too long, if you ask, for some people. But at the same time, that's because, like, it used to be a completely different thing, and then Dark Souls got popular, and they're like, well, we'll try our hand at this. And you played it, and then I almost feel like from the beta that we played, I feel like that's fucking harder than Dark Souls.
It was tough because
you have to find the health packs, but, like, how often did you find them?
Well, that was a rough beta, so it was tough. I died more often because, like, I don't know, just getting out ninja'd. Well, it was more like I got killed because it was too many versus how many I was.
Yeah, and the combat was, like, more... Combat seemed a lot more... I don't know how to explain it. Like, Dark Souls is, like... It's not hack and slash at all, but there's certain enemies where you run up to them, you slash, throw up your shield, or you duck out of the way.
Yeah.
This one, it seemed like you're going to be, like, you know, take just one or two hits, then... you know, guard, and then, like, back away. And then,
yeah, it was tough to get certain enemies off because they all have samurai skills.
But at the same time, the thing I thought was cool about it is because, for the most part, I'm sure there's one boss that's like a monster, I think. But for the most part, you're fighting humans.
Yeah.
And they have stamina just the same as you do. So, like, you'll be trading blows with a guy, and then you just so happen to guard slightly longer than the other guy, and then he swings, and then he tires himself out, and your guard just drops in that game. Yeah. It's not like in Dark Souls where you can keep kind of like moving back. Like, you're stuck, and you're just open for hits. So, okay, yeah, that's the second one. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Another one, they're claiming 2017. This is definitely one I doubt, but at the same time, it's Rockstar, and usually what they do is they bake in a fucking delay in general. That way, like they claim a release window, and then they just push it back a couple months. That way, that just, like, pushes the pre-orders even further. It's like, oh, well, it's pre-order. It's delayed. I got time to, like, pre-order it, you know. So, Red Dead Redemption 2, I love Westerns. Ever since I was a kid, thanks to my dad, like...
Red Dead Revolver was fun.
Red Dead Redemption.
I don't think I played...
Gun was awesome, but that's not from them. But
yeah.
Well, there's only been 2 Red Deads.
Oh, yeah.
Red Dead Revolver. Red Dead Revolver was actually...
I didn't play the zombie one that much.
Oh, well, that was just an expansion.
Yeah, the Undead or whatever.
Yeah, Undead Nightmare.
Yeah,
that's super funny. If you like horror movies, that's backwards compatible. You should play that.
Yeah, I've been thinking about, because when I went to play it, like, I think I played the other one, and it was, like, so dynamic, and that one was more silly. It was hard for me to, like...
And it wasn't just silly, like, it kind of... The mission structure is weird.
Yeah.
But that is so fucking... It's so funny if you're a fan of horror films.
Yeah.
And especially if you played the original, and you can get behind them being more silly with the characters.
I think that's why I didn't play it that much, because it was hard for me to... like, separate myself from them. But if I went to play now, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
You know, but it just... Sometimes, like, games, like, if I were playing Metal Gear Solid, all of a sudden it's like Metal Gear Solid versus turkeys. Even though it seems like an awesome idea, I'd be like, I don't know if this is going to work.
I'd play that.
You would?
That's
I know
kind
you
of like
would.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
I know you would.
MGS 5 was fucking nuts and weird and amazing.
Anyways.
So Red Dead 2 looks awesome. Another one that, like, I don't even know if they've given, like, a release window.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, they released, like, Sony released a, you know, things to look forward to in 2017, like, sizzle reel of games, like, coming up. And I'm pretty sure this was the one that caused this. They had Days Gone in the trailer.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you heard what Sony did. They went back, took down all those trailers, and then released it with, then when it says 2016, then it clicks to 2017, then it clicks to 2018, 2019, and then it just scrolls through like 2100 AD. And it's like, and beyond. But Days Gone looks fucking nuts.
Yeah, and of course I'll probably have to play it because it's a zombie game.
It's a zombie game. You're gonna play it.
I'll be in line for the pre-order.
Yeah. And that's basically like you're a biker
I forgot
in
that
a
was
zombie
coming
apocalypse.
out. The only thing I didn't like was from the trailer. I liked the idea of seeing hundreds of zombies coming after him, but it seemed like but it seemed like it was on a unrail type thing.
It's not.
But yeah, just from the gameplay, it looked like it was on rail.
You like when the shooting or the walking?
The shooting, like when he was running backwards and shooting him on the demo. Do you remember that video? Anyways,
I remember him like holding down the auto fire, and it was. I mean, I know you're in the military, but if you hold a fucking M1 or not
M4,
an M4, and you're just one-handed
spraying
like,
and
shooting
praying,
while you're running, the gun's gonna be kicking all over the place.
Yeah. I think maybe I don't know. It just seemed like it. Never mind.
But yeah, that game looks awesome. One that I'm super looking forward to, especially with this guy here, is Injustice 2.
Yeah. I forgot that was. Jeez. I didn't have time to do that much research.
Yeah.
So
well, that's why I did it.
Yeah.
Injustice 2 looks awesome. I love Mortal Kombat X. I like the original Injustice. Like, I'm still reading the Injustice comics. So they started a Injustice comic that's set during the timeline, because there's two different timelines in Injustice. The first one, it's the past, and then it's this alternate dimension where the Joker fucked up or whatever, where he kills Lois, and then Superman kills him, and then becomes the total, the dictator Superman. They did a comic series based on that, and it's still going. And
Nice.
that game came out, 3-4 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. And it's super cool because all it is like, let's take all of like DC heroes and villains and like just have fun with it.
Yeah.
It's not set to a storyline within DC overall. It's just like, this guy killed this guy and this nuts thing is happening, and Superman and Wonder Woman are fucking, and Wonder Woman's like a bitch, and she's like controlling Superman, and like she feels he should be this leader and stuff. It's awesome.
I just hope they add more like brutality to it.
No, they can't.
I know. I just wish they did. That's just my own. Because how cool would it be if you can just see like Batman, like when he strikes? That's like one of my favorite thing about Dark Knight Rises or whatever. It's like
well,
when
he
Batman
runs people over with a car.
Well, like when he, but it doesn't. There's not like you don't feel that impact. You know what I mean? Like in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like when you do certain
You
moves
want gore because you're a gore hound.
Yeah,
you
but
get
how
the
cool would it
impact.
be?
It wouldn't.
It would
it's
be so awesome to
unnecessary.
see Batman like strike down like on somebody and just see their shit, just their clavicle just.
That's why we got
Mortal Kombat.
No, that's why we got the Zack Snyder verse. Like, that's what that is. Like, he straight fucking dudes up, and it's awesome. But like, I think it's because of the conceit. Because in Injustice, like the way they're able, so the way Batman's able to fight Superman and not immediately just die, and we can have this debate. Like, I love Batman, and I tell myself Batman would win, but god damn it. Like, Superman would rip his fucking head off.
I'm not sure if that's true.
Like, I'm not.
I refuse.
I'll joke
I
with anybody.
that.
But, like, if it's straight up just, like, no preparation, they just meet in the street, and Superman's just evil, and...
He just laser beams him, and he's like...
Yeah, and it's done. Like, Batman doesn't even have time to pull out the kryptonite. He just shoots him with a fucking laser. So... The conceit is that then they have like this serum that like makes them superpowered, and then they're wearing armor, and the armor suits for like the Flash and Batman they showed in the Injustice 2 trailer looks fucking awesome. So I think part of that is like what stops that. So then, does Superman ever bleed?
He will.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
I was like, does he want me to say it?
Yeah. So unless you like dose them with a shit ton of kryptonite.
I saw a coffee cup. It says, "Do you drink coffee?" On the back it says, "You will." That's a Batman symbol. I don't know. I just threw that out there.
You're the worst.
I was like, yeah, I want that. Anyway,
so that's my point. Is does Superman ever bleed? Unless it's Frank Miller or Zack Snyder.
He bleeds tears when you go, Martha. Martha!
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 Why is he saying that name?
Why is he saying that name? Martha!
I like that movie.
I so do I.
And I had the...
We're fucking nerds, man.
That was the thing about like having a kid. The small little nugget that I can take away is I didn't see the theater version that everybody else saw. I
Yeah.
saw the version that everybody already said was better. It was the full R rating.
4-hour campaign of awesomeness.
Yeah. So, but that's my point with Injustice is like, then if everybody is bleeding and it's super brutal, then it doesn't make any sense.
But okay, fine. Move on with your.
Okay,
list.
so Injustice 2 looks awesome.
It'd just be like, that's what, like, fucking Batman comes down with his elbow, and it's just, fly. Sorry.
Fly what? And who's he hitting?
He's just hitting, like hitting Bane or some shit. Like,
And what happens?
Bane breaks his back.
No, but
like, then he does sit-ups.
When he elbows...
Then he does sit-ups, and he's totally fine.
No, when he elbows this guy, what happens to Bane? Like, are you saying blood splatters, or like it breaks his clavicle, or...
It's just a mixture. Just let me have my dream. Let me have my dream.
Just
Let me have Batman have his bat broken.
It's like wearing 2 pairs of
his
underwear.
back broken, and he does some sit-ups, and he's totally fine. You know what I'm talking
Fire
about?
rises.
I love that movie, but like there's certain parts I was just like when like he was hanging him upside down to fix his back, and he was just doing sit-ups, and they had this TV in the corner with full cable, of course, even though they're in a dungeon, so he could watch everything that's happening.
Well, they explain that too.
Well, I know they explain it, but it doesn't mean it's
they
fine.
put the TV in there to remind them of the life that's been taken away from them.
He doesn't need
torture.
He's got sit-ups. He's got sit-ups.
The 24-hour Gotham news channel, that is a little weird, but
why did Bane take control of the news? That would have been ingenious.
He took control of the whole city.
Yeah, but not the news channel. Not the news channel.
Why would he?
Because then he could do propaganda for everyone to watch.
He doesn't need propaganda.
So the world will be on his side instead of just taking over something.
He didn't want the world on his side.
I feel like he did.
He wasn't in control. That's the other thing.
Does this make you feel like you're in control?
Talia
My favorite
was in control.
That's true. She was.
Like, there's a lot. Like,
I forgot
I'll
about
go
that.
ham on anybody who's like, Dark Knight Rises doesn't make sense. I'm like,
it does make. I love it.
I'm
just making funny. I'm just making fun.
You suck.
I'm just making fun.
Fuck this.
He won't give me my blood. That's still my favorite part of the. I know we're like way over our time, anyways. My favorite part of Batman is like when Bane, that guy is talking to. I can't think of the dude's name. He's like, "I paid you money." And he's like, "And you think this gives you power over me?" Like touches him, and the other guy's like, "I'm fucking out of here."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm in control here," and he's like, just rests his hand on the guy's shoulder, palm up too, not even palm down.
He was like, "Palm up."
Yeah, he's like, "Do you feel in control?" And then he breaks his neck.
And he's like, "I paid you mine."
I want to watch that whole series.
No, I know.
I might do that this weekend.
It's a 3-day. Well, I have a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, because every fucking holiday, like
state power,
invention of the fart day. And it's like tax dollars, robots in the sky.
Making it rain.
I should have thought that one through because that doesn't make any sense. Are the tax dollars robots? Are the people who are control the government robots?
Oh,
Are
God.
the taxpayers robots?
I should pause this so we don't get spammed. Anyways, move on.
Okay. These ones are actually pretty quick. The next one I'm just going to say out loud because, like, oh my god, I can't believe it's happening. Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, I saw that.
Fuck. I can't.
Alright.
We might not record a podcast the week that comes out because I will just be playing that game.
Mass Effect.
I will be asking Emily constantly, can I play Mass Effect? And she'll be like, sure.
Sure.
Can I play Mass Effect?
Remember when you played that farm game for 5 minutes? I need that 5 minutes.
I'll be getting up early. Like, I wake up at 4 o'clock every morning. I'll be getting up at like 2:30 in the morning just to play Mass Effect before work. I'm not really going to do that because I would probably die, but
the idea is great.
Mass Effect Andromeda, it looks awesome. That's all I have to say about it. You'll hear plenty of it coming soon. Another one like Injustice that I'm looking forward to and hoping me and you can work something out if you're interested in it is Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah, I'm nervous about that one, to be fair with you.
Why are you nervous about it?
I don't know, I just think it's going to play like the last one. Not the last one. What was the one where the Ghost Recon Advanced... What was it? Where it was more open world like this one's supposed to be? Can't think of the name now. I should have wrote it down. I think gameplay wise, it's not going to be that great.
It looks like Far Cry.
Does it? I haven't seen gameplay videos since the trailer.
It's there's a whole like.
Is it online only too? Like that one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because there's 2 videos. One they do the same mission. One going loud, and it's really cheesy because they're acting like they're 4 buddies hanging out. So it's a little cheesy, like, oh, nice headshot, shit like that, like
things you probably maybe would say, but not really.
No, but what it is they show doing the mission going loud, going super silent, and like sneaking out. And then if I'm not mistaken, the one where they're going silent, I think it goes like fucking pear-shaped and like shit gets fucked up right at the end. It looks super dynamic. It looks...
I have to re-look into it. I don't know.
Like, I can probably... I sent you a link to the exact videos I'm talking about on Facebook.
There's something you sent me like weeks ago that I'm just now getting around to. I'm sorry.
But anyways, look into that game. Check back in with me once you do, or we can save it for the podcast next week. It looks... Like, it's one of those things where this one, like, you could totally play it single player, and they expressly say that. Like, look, you can play this whole game single player. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. But you can also do co-op. Oh, you're thinking of The Division. It is not The Division.
Oh, okay.
At all. It's an open world. It's not a small world. There's vehicles.
Well, The Division was supposed to be open world.
Well, it was open world, but it was all on foot.
Yeah.
This is like wide open world. There's no dark zone where it's PvP.
Yeah.
It's all just like
that's the one where I was saying that I was worried about, because remember when another tangent, when the Division was first announced and stuff, it looked so cool. Yeah. And then like it got released, and I'm sure through the patches it's gotten better, but I heard so much negativity behind it, and like I just can't get games that are online only that are full price. Like if it's like a partial pricing that's online only, then I'll be fine with it.
Well, that one, like, I would have played that game from day one.
Yeah.
Outside of one aspect of it with the online, because the online only affects it in terms of like there's area in the game that is PvP, but you can set your like server for offline where you're by yourself. You just don't get the bonuses from the Dark Zone.
Which I heard are mainly like beanies and stuff, so...
Well, no, that's actually... It used to be that's where the really good gear is.
Yeah.
But they just released the patch a couple months ago that completely reworked the entire game.
Oh.
And it's tiered now. So, like, if you're a newcomer and you do want to play with people online, like they're in the Dark Zone or whatever, you're only going to be going against people who are also Tier 1. Like, it's a world
staggered
type thing.
Okay.
So you're not going to be facing like
Wildlands to see, because I just maybe I'm thinking of something else, but like I thought I saw a video that shared the gameplay that looked kind of like the same, and I was like really nervous about it. But that might have been like way early.
Yeah, this one isn't even a loot shooter. Like you choose your loadout, you upgrade your guns and stuff. Like the old ones, like Rainbow Six and the Splinter Cell. Stuff like that, you upgrade your guns, but you're not like running around like trying to get the best stats on your weapon. Mm-hmm. You're trying to plan for a mission. You're like, all right, I'm going to be at distance to take out this target, get out quick. I'm going to get a silent sniper rifle that has a quick reload in case, because I have 3 targets and they're all going to be grouped together, and I have to pop.
The one question I would have is like, let's say you and I are playing it and it's like a squad of 4. How much information do we have to feed the AI to work on the same plan?
That's the thing I don't know. I don't know if you have AI with you.
Okay.
Or if...
Because, you know, the older games is like mandatory squad of 4, like you had
wouldn't
Alpha.
Wouldn't that be awesome if it was as simple as, like, Rainbow Six?
What would be awesome is if you could use your voice, like on... Because the PS4 controller has a voice.
I hate that.
But it'd be cool, like, so instead of where you would have to point and click...
Like SOCOM. Like, go to Point Delta. SOCOM was doing that back on PS2. Remember, that was the big thing. It got bundled with the headset.
Yeah.
Huge one that was like one.
But that was like, there's a different game that did that too, where they used like voice only. I can't remember what it was called, but
Binary Domain used it.
There's another Tom Clancy one that we'll have to look it up off the podcast. So I'll let you continue.
Last game. This one's a little weird, and this one, I don't know. I think it's mostly because of Ratchet and Clank happened, and it's like, because we don't get these very often, ukulele. It's some of the people like, or I was saying I don't really like Rare that much. Well, I like platformers like Jak and Daxter and stuff, and ukulele. Think about that name, and then think about Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
So it's another instrument. It's a bunch of the guys who used to work at Rare who worked on that, left the studio, started their own studio, and I believe they kickstarted this one. I believe they kickstarted it. And it's a modern 3D platformer. Like the old school ones, like Jak and Daxter and stuff. Those games to me are... There's some games where you're really into them for the story or the world or the graphics or the, specific type of gameplay like an RPG. These games I've always felt are just some of the best examples of like how a video game can be fun.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to ukulele. That's going to be coming out here soon.
Doesn't The Last of Us come out this year too?
No. That game probably is not coming out till 2019.
What about that Uncharted one too? The
Uncharted,
one female? The female one?
That was starting out as DLC.
Sorry, that sounds sexist, but it's where you're a female instead of...
Yeah, you're playing as Chloe.
Yeah.
Who you would know if you played the other games.
Oh my god, here we go.
He still needs to play the Uncharted games. It's an amazing series. No, that started as DLC. That will be coming out this year.
Okay, cool.
That, I bought the season pass, so I get that. And then I got a bunch of multiplayer shit that I don't need.
So I have an idea. Since we're over... we're actually gonna break into final thoughts, and for my Dead Rising 5, 4. God, why do I keep saying 5?
You called it 2 earlier. It's a really memorable game.
Yeah, the title. Yeah, that's the fucked up thing is I really love it, but I'll probably just Twitch stream.
Just say Dead Rising.
Yeah, Dead Rising. I'm just gonna Twitch stream it, and then we'll talk about it there, and then maybe bring some more in on the podcast, like a separate thing.
Yeah, we could do, because I was saying you should do a Let's Play of you playing Dead Rising. I mean, you could play that for an hour and just show a mission, show the open world aspect, show taking selfies with zombies.
I don't even use the camera thing that much, to be honest with you.
You get a bunch of PP from it.
I know that, but I don't need it. When I can plow through zombies with a truck, I'm fine. So look forward to that. Let's get some final thoughts in. You can go first.
I finally have taken a deep dive into Dishonored 2 because I was talking about my Game of the Year list. I wasn't in the mood to play like a stealth game. I've gone deep on it.
That's what she said.
Word. And it's awesome. It would have been on my top 10 if I would have played it if I hadn't already played Deus Ex, and it's so good.
Yeah.
Like the upgrades you get are nuts. There's one where you can literally chain guys together. It's called Domino. So, dominoes, like one falls over, knocks over the other. So I got it to where I can link up to 4 guys together, and when I choke one out, all 3 of them drop.
Nice.
So, there was this room where there was, 3 dudes sitting at a desk and one guy, standing behind them, and I dominoed them all together. And then I warped in right behind him, choked him out, and then I turn around and all 3 guys are passed out at their desks. Just
Nice. Nice.
So that game's awesome. I just got to, the thing is, though, when I'm playing a game like that, it takes me forever.
Yeah.
So I'm only in the 4th mission. They're big, areas with, side quests and stuff to do.
Yeah, and there's, collectibles and all that happy crap.
And I'm, 6, 7 hours in, and I just now got to, actually, I'm, probably 10 hours in, I think. And I just got to, the 4th mission, which is, this clockwork mansion.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you start it out, you pull this lever, and then, Inception, the whole house starts changing. And the whole room changes into a different thing, and these stairs come down. So, I'll be playing more of that, talking more of that here and there, I guess. We'll see what's on the schedule for next week.
Yeah. My final thought, so I think I'm going to stick to getting Resident Evil, but I don't know if I want to stay away from pre-ordering it simply because of the crap that they're coming out with it. But I think because, and plus, we live in a smaller area, so I'm pretty sure they'll have a copy for me.
Well, why don't you check other places like Best Buy or Amazon and see what their bonuses are?
Well, the Amazon, you have to do a 2-day shipping for it to get to your house in time or something like that, which is weird to me. I'll have to show it to you offline. So I'm looking forward to that. Dead Rising 4?
Dead Rising.
Yes! I echo the same thing that you said. I wish I got to play it more because it would have been on my top 10. It wouldn't have been number one because Forza is just I just enjoy it way more. Like,
That's why you just mark it for next year.
yeah, so for next year I'll probably be on that list if I don't forget about it. And the other thing I wanted to say real quick is when we do play Resident Evil, I would like to have a day where I invite you over and just so we can like just both experience it. But like I said, I'm extremely like cautious with it because the thing about scary things is I can suspend my disbelief for scary things, obviously, because I watch a lot of horror movies and just things in general. The only thing that worries me is how the gun element is going to work in it, because even in one of the videos supported on YouTube was saying how like the game was scary by itself, but then they started adding tropes from other Resident Evil, like trope monsters. And I don't want that.
That's in the demo.
Yeah, I don't want that, to be honest with you. I want a game that's scary because it's a creepy fucking family. And if that's related to them somehow, maybe if they explain it. But if they're just going to throw in monster tropes, something tells me I might be disappointed. So that's kind of all I wanted to say. So take your time. Hope you have a good one and stay safe out there.